Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me in talking about the Commonwealth Scholarships, which I'm very passionate about. I'm an alumnus of the scholarship. I got the scholarship in 2014, which is exactly 10 years ago. And I've been involved as an alumni for the past 9, 10 years. And it's been an amazing ride. And I like sort of making sure that whenever the opportunity comes up, other people can apply, either for the scholarships or the fellowships. I'm going to focus more on the scholarships because that's my main experience with the Commonwealth. However, there are also fellowships for those that are already in their professional careers or early career researchers, etc. Um, Other people will talk about that. I'm going to focus on scholarships. I just want to let you know from the beginning. So CSC stands for Commonwealth Scholarship Commission for short. Um, okay. Let's do some introductions. What are the Commonwealth Scholarships? The Commonwealth Scholarships are funded by the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, or FCDO for short, and it provides the UK government scholarship scheme led by the International Development Commitments. The aim of the scholarship is to support innovation, co-creation, as well as solutions for SDGs. So remember that word, SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. That's going to be important in your application or whenever you're thinking of applying for scholarships or fellowships. Do think about that. 2024, the scholarship turns 65. It's been in existence since 1959. So I know that in November, we're going to be, in the UK particularly, be celebrating 65 years of this amazing scholarship that has changed more than 31,000 lives from across the Commonwealth. There are 7 unique scholarship programs offered across the Commonwealth. So just as an introduction, as I said, my name is Paballo Chauke, and I received the Commonwealth Scholarship in 2014. I'm originally from South Africa, but currently based in the United Kingdom. I studied an MSc in Biodiversity Conservation as well as Management at the University of Oxford, Oriel College, through the Commonwealth Scholarship. Okay, so what this Commonwealth Scholarship offers is a fully funded opportunity to study at any UK institution. So I chose Oxford because that's what my heart and my career path led me to. But you can choose Edinburgh or UCL, King's College, any institution in the UK. They'll cover your tuition, they'll cover accommodation, they'll cover visa and travel costs or your flights. They'll cover your TB test and health surcharge and all any cost that has to do with you being in the UK as a student will be covered by the Commonwealth. For those that already have families, either a partner or children, they do also offer support for your partner as well as children as well. But for the first child, I think there's a certain amount, and for the second child, it's a bit less, and for the third child as well. So depending on how many children you have, when you apply for the scholarship and you get accepted, then they also get supported as well. I think one of the exciting things that, as I said, I've been part of the scholarship for the past 10 years. It gives you an opportunity to join 31,000 global communities, some of whom have gone on to be leaders of world institutions and countries. So you are joining really an esteemed and prestigious scholarship, which has an excellent alumni across the world. So, as I said, one of the key focuses of the Commonwealth Scholarship is Sustainable Development Goals. Please Google those at some point if you have never heard of them. They're very popular. The UN is leading on this. We want to change the world, and there are 17 development goals that we need to make sure that by 2030, which is in the next 6 years, we achieve them. Ending poverty, making sure that quality education is provided, good health and well-being, gender equality, biodiversity, climate action, etc. The Commonwealth Scholarship wants to fund future leaders, future academics, future scholars, future just alumni that are going to make sure that we achieve the 17 sustainable development goals. So whenever you write an essay or you answer a question, think about SDGs at the back of your mind. And I hope I'm not going too fast. So as I said, Commonwealth Scholarship as well as are aimed at empowering future leaders across the Commonwealth. And if you don't know what the Commonwealth is, I'll cover which are the countries that fall under the Commonwealth countries. But I just wanted to stress how important SDGs are in how you shape your application and how your referees write about you and your leadership skills and your capabilities as an academic and a scholar as well. Okay, so Commonwealth scholarships are currently open. If you didn't know, they're closing on the 15th of October. So in 10 days time. So you still have time, but not a lot of time. So I'd encourage you to open the website and read through quickly and get all the documents that you need, which I'm going to speak about now. Your references ready, your transcripts ready, so that by the 15th of October 2024, you can submit. So there are two types of scholarships that are currently open. Commonwealth PhD scholarships, which are for the least developed countries as well as vulnerable states. So those are specific Commonwealth countries that fall under this criteria. And Commonwealth scholarships that are open mostly for all the Commonwealth countries. So for you to apply for the PhD one, you need to fall under the least developed. And for masters, it's LMIC. And those criteria are used by World Bank and other institutions as well to describe which country is least developed or an LMIC or high income country. So please do read up on those if you want to understand. So not everyone can apply for the PhD scholarships, but most Commonwealth countries can apply for the master's scholarships. So these are the eligible countries for Commonwealth master's scholarships. So you need to come from a low and middle income country, Commonwealth country, to undertake full-time taught masters at a UK university. So if you are from these countries that are listed on my slide here, including Lesotho, Malawi, South Africa, where I'm from, Zambia, St. Lucia, Pakistan, Nigeria, Namibia, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, I'm not going to mention all of them, Maldives, Malaysia, please do think about applying for a master's scholarship. Again, subject areas are not limited as well. So you can apply for any institution in the UK. You can apply for any degree as long as you meet the eligibility criteria in terms of country of origin to apply for the master scholarship. So check first if your country appears on this list. And as I said, applications are due at 4 p.m. BST, which is the 15th of October, which is 10 days time. So to apply, visit the website cscuk.fcdo.gov.uk/scholarships/Commonwealth Master Scholarships. Okay. So please peruse and go through the website immediately after this and start reading up on what is required, what is offered, and what you need to do to meet certain criteria. Okay, I'm gonna take it a bit slowly because I'm also checking time as well, just to make sure that I'm not being too fast or too slow as well. The Commonwealth PhD scholarships are, however, are limited. So as you can see, the other list of master scholarships was a bit longer, about 30 countries or so. This one is a bit more compressed because this one is for what is referred to as the least developed countries or vulnerable states. You can apply for a PhD scholarship to study at a UK university full time. So those countries include Mozambique. As you can see, countries like Lesotho, Malawi, Tanzania, Sri Lanka, Rwanda, and Pakistan, and others appear twice. So they appear both on the master scholarships as well as the PhD scholarship opportunity. So again, go through the list to see which countries you are from as a Commonwealth country, but then to see whether you can apply either for both PhD and masters or just other masters scholarships as well. To apply for the scholarships, you need to apply through a nominating agency. So I'll speak about that in the next slide or so. You can't apply directly to Commonwealth. So you look through the cscuk.fcdo.gov.uk to see in your country what are the nominating agencies, and you can choose one of them. I know, for instance, in South Africa, you can apply through the Department of Higher Education and Training, or you can apply through Ken & Collins, which is what I applied for when I applied 10 years ago. So there are multiple For South Africa, there are multiple nominating agencies that you can use to apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship. The questions are the same. The application process is the same. It's just that the nominating agency will have to look through your application to vet it, to then forward it to the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission for a decision whether you get the scholarship or not. So you need to know for your specific country, are you an LMIC? Are you a least developed country? What scholarship can you apply for, or do you qualify for, or are you eligible for? And then choose the nominating agency that you want to use to apply to, and then they will then nominate you towards the Commonwealth Scholarship that you're eligible for. Again, to repeat, the applications are due at 4 p.m. BST on the 15th of October 2024. So you still have time to quickly email your references. You need about to start writing your essays and looking through the application and answering questions in a timeless manner so that you can submit the application in time. So in terms of eligibility, to apply for either the master's or the PhD scholarship as an applicant, you need to be a citizen of or have been granted refugee status by an eligible Commonwealth country, or be a British protected person. The second criteria is you need to permanently reside in one of the eligible Commonwealth countries. You need to be available to start studies in the UK by the start of the academic year in September 2025. So if you apply this round by the 15th of October, you need to be able to, if you have a job or you have another opportunity, to be able to pause that for a bit or however long to be able to begin your studies in the UK in 2025. So just know that you can't postpone and say you want to study in 2027, for instance. You could apply now. You apply now if you want to study in 2025. And again, one of the criteria is if you can afford to study without the scholarship, then that's one of the main eligibility criteria that they use as well. So as I said, we have national nominating agencies, which is the main route of application. So you can apply directly to the Commonwealth. Each nominating agency oversees its own selection process, and they may have additional eligibility criteria. So again, as I said, go through the website cscuk.fcdo.gov.uk to see, one, are you eligible for one of the scholarships or both in terms of master's or PhD? To what nominating agencies exist in your country, and then go to that nominating agency's website to see the specific eligibility criteria, which will align and has synergy with Commonwealth Scholarship Commission eligibility criteria as well. So just to stress, you must complete an application using the CSC online application system. So again, as I said, start with the CSC website, but then also the nominating agencies to see what further criteria is needed so that when you submit your application, you meet both eligibility criteria. But the main one that you need to focus on is the CSC eligibility criteria. Okay, so these are examples of nominating and charitable bodies that are able to nominate for scholarships. So as I said, I was kindly and gladly nominated by Canon Collins Educational and Legal Assistance Trust. They nominated me for the scholarship in 2014, and I got the Commonwealth Scholarship to study in the UK in 2015 at the University of Oxford. But other Commonwealth nominating agencies include Wellcome Trust, include Forum for African Women Educationalists, or FAWI for short, Highly Access Network, as well as others that might not be listed here as well. So you need to check for your specific country which nominating agencies or NGOs are able to nominate you. Another thing that I like about the Commonwealth Scholarship is the fact that it's an equal opportunity scholarship. So they're committed to supporting talented individuals who have the potential to change the world, and it supports people from diverse backgrounds. So it's about inclusivity, equity, so DEI, think Commonwealth scholarships. They have a policy of equal opportunity as well as non-discrimination. Yeah, so I think privacy is respected and information provided to the CSC is treated with the strictest confidence. So whatever you say about your life or background or details that you need to share in order to apply for the scholarship will remain protected. So it's not going to be shared with anyone besides the people that are going to be reviewing your application and deciding on whether you get the scholarship or not. So this is the selection criteria, which is very strict. Applications will be considered using the following criteria: academic merit of the candidate. So you need to have performed well in your undergraduate honors, or if you have a master's before, um, you need to show that you have the academic merit. So it's not that, yeah, you did poorly. It's you show that, okay, there's evidence that you are a dedicated pupil or student, and that you can deliver in terms of your performance when you get to a UK institution that you select, or whether when you get the Commonwealth Scholarship. What is your plan of study? What do you want to study? So you need to research your degrees. You need to research the departments, the universities that you're going to apply for. I advise that perhaps you choose, this is my opinion, about 5 universities that you could apply for the same degree. So like, let's say you want to study African studies, you can choose Oxford, Cambridge, King's College, Edinburgh, um, or Glasgow. I'm just giving those as examples. And then you go into those universities' websites and you see what the requirements are and you apply for those. But then when you apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship, you can show in your application, even before you apply for those universities, that you've done the research about your plan of study and you know where you could potentially study your African studies degree, for instance. I'll use that as an example, or geography, or genomics, or bioinformatics, or whatever degree you're interested in. One of the things that Commonwealth is interested in is changing, as we spoke about sustainable development goals. The Commonwealth Scholarship wants to impact and develop Commonwealth countries. So how is your degree in the UK, whether a master's degree or a PhD degree in whatever subject, if supported by the Commonwealth Scholarship, how are you gonna help develop your country further? So one of the things that is required is that after you graduate from the UK through a Commonwealth Scholarship, either a master's or a PhD, you at least go back to your country for 2 years to give back. So you can either decide after 2 years, maybe you want to go elsewhere or you want to remain. Because I think the idea is to help achieve sustainable development goals, and to increase the education levels and human capital of Commonwealth countries. What you need to include in your application are full transcript of all higher education uh, that's listed on your application. So if you have an honors degree, master's, or undergraduate degree, have those transcripts and attach them to your application. You need at least 2 references. You can have more, but the least that you need are 2. So start thinking of people that can write good references for you that you can approach if you haven't yet started the process. Um, you need a supporting statement if you are applying for a PhD, but if you are applying for a master's, you don't need to submit a supporting statement. You can download the selection criteria in the selection process information on the web pages below. For master scholarships, csc.uk.fcdo.gov.uk scholarships, Commonwealth Masters scholarships. And for the PhD one, just change that for PhD for least developed countries and fragile states. So you can, before you even start the application process, you can see what the selection criteria is. And just to let you know, as someone who's been involved in selecting for the scholarship, so after I got the scholarship, I've been such an active alumni and passionate alumni, that I've been asked to be part of selection of the scholarships, and I know how I was as a scholar, as someone who applied and got the scholarship, but also as someone on the other side on the selection committee, what we exactly look for and what we do. And it's very strict, I'm not gonna lie. So put in a good application, read through the selection process, read through the eligibility criteria, and make sure that you put in a and great application and put your best foot forward. Okay, we're still doing good for time. Key links that you could use are as follows. By the way, I'm recording this. I hope it's recording. I'm gonna share the recording with you at the end of this presentation for those of you that registered, because I'll have your contact details. As I said, Commonwealth offers scholarships as well as fellowships, but I'm focusing on scholarships. So if you want to hear about fellowships, email the Commonwealth scholarships about the fellowships particularly. I'm more well versed in scholarships. But yeah, the key links include development themes. You can use the cscuk.fcdo.gov.uk, CSC development themes, nominating agencies, same website, but then /forward national nominating agencies. There's advice for applicants. There's FAQs, so frequently asked questions. I'd advise you to go through all of these. It's gonna take a bit of your time. You have 10 days to go if you haven't started. It's doable if you just dedicate a good amount of time each day to either read and ask someone to also go with you, and um, ask your networks and colleagues to help if you don't understand anything. But also the FAQs are quite helpful as well. Okay, my slides are not moving. Oh, there. So just to tell you a bit about my journey, I wanted to study in the UK. So I'm from South Africa. I studied at University of Cape Town, which is UCT, and just to brag, it's the best university in Africa. And I had conquered that institution, as in I had done well academically. I had enjoyed my studies. Um, and I had been lucky to, before that, had gotten other scholarships which allowed me to travel the world. Like I had gotten the Mellon Mays Undergraduate Foundation Scholarship, which allowed me to go to Harvard for a month or so. And I traveled New York, and also I started seeing the world. And I was like, the world is my oyster. Even though I come from a township in South Africa, I can see the world and I can study in other countries as well. And I wanted to study at Oxford. So actually, the first scholarship that I applied for was the Rhodes Scholarship. So, which is a different scholarship, and I think if people need more information about that, I can share it separately. But I applied for that, and I got to the final round. So I was like one of the top 5 people that almost got it. But my goal was not necessarily just to get a scholarship. My goal at first was I want to go to a UK institution. So regardless of what scholarship I got, I knew that my dream and my long-term goal included coming to the UK, which is why I currently reside, study, and then go back to South Africa to work and help develop my country, as the Commonwealth Scholarship goals say. So I had applied for the Rhodes Scholarship, which I was a finalist for, but sadly didn't get. But I got some relationships and networks that I still have to this day. But as I said, my reason was I applied for this Commonwealth Scholarship because it was going to help me achieve my dream of studying in the UK. Okay. And I wanted to live in the UK or Europe for a bit. And I wanted to gain necessary skills to change South Africa. So I'm from South Africa, and I'm passionate about education, particularly. I'm passionate about Africa, but also science in general. And I knew that if I got a degree, whether a master's or a PhD in the United Kingdom, it was going to help elevate um, me and put me on a platform to be able to catapult me to higher levels that I wanted to go on. And I'm not gonna lie to you, studying in the UK has been a life-changing experience. Um, yeah, but then just to say, I had to adjust to the food, which is a bit different to what I was used to in South Africa, and the weather. The weather can be a bit of a downer most of the time. It can be raining and cold, but we had summer now from May until just now in October. But from October until May next year, it's going to be a bit of a rainy, cold season. So I had to adjust to that coming from South Africa. Um, and I would say that I gained a lot of skills that have helped me now in my career. So after my master's in Oxford in 2016, I went back to South Africa, and I worked at UCT and other institutions for about 5, 6 years. And I came back to the UK in 2022. Um, yeah, so as I said, the requirement of the scholarship is that you go back to your country for about 2 years or so, um, just to show that you didn't just want to come to the UK and remain, but that you actually are going to help achieve the SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals. So my encouragement to you is apply if you want to change your own life. and contribute to the development of your own country. So it's not just about you or just about your country, it's about both. And on the picture here, it's a picture that it's a letter of thank you or appreciation from the Department of Higher Education in 2021 when I was involved in the selection process. So I helped reading through applications and selecting who got the scholarship, and which was an honor and a privilege that I don't take lightly. Um, my advice that I can share with you is apply, apply, apply. So check the eligibility criteria first. Just make sure that you meet the either which country can apply for the master's or the PhD scholarship, and apply. Be confident, be bold. Do not, I know there's fear and it's daunting and it's scary and it's competitive and it's prestigious. All those words are true. But I think go into it, go into the application process, being confident in your own capabilities and abilities and experience and knowledge and skills. Do not downplay your achievements. I think most of you are A students, and you excel, but you don't necessarily just have to be an A student. So it's amazing if you are a distinction getting person, but if you did well and got a 2.1, that's a good grade to apply for the scholarship. So do not underplay your achievements, mention them. So obviously don't just brag, mention how your achievements can help develop your own country or help you succeed in your degree at any UK institution. Um, Read the questions carefully. So don't just answer something because you think that's what you should answer. Read the questions carefully, the essay questions, particularly in any question, and answer what is asked. So don't answer what's not asked or what you think is asked. Answer what is exactly asked. I think none of us are self-made. I know personally I'm not an island. I am made of a community of friends, of colleagues, of family, of um, support. There's a support structure that I have that I can ask for help from. So ask your support structure to help you review your application, to look over your application, because none of us are islands. As human beings, we do need support. So yes, start the application on your own. You are going to be the one to have to click submit. But my advice for you is have someone or two people look through your application and assist um, with the application process, as in to just review and say, oh no, that spelling, that grammar, or you could rephrase this in this way. In 2019, on the side, the pictures that you see on the left, I was invited as an alumnus to speak to people that were leaving for the UK in 2019. I was back in South Africa. And this is what I said, and I'm going to quote myself. This opportunity is a once in a lifetime experience. Make use of it to explore and expand. As an alumni, I know very well the benefits of being part of the Commonwealth Scholarship Program. One such benefit is becoming part of a greater support structure who has provided you with a platform to travel abroad whilst transforming your mind to education. So do not get lost and don't forget to live in every moment. So for those of you that will get the scholarship, my encouragement is um, there are huge benefits to being part of the Common Scholarship. So please, when you get the scholarship, explore. But I'd encourage you to apply so that you can get the experience to travel and live in another country and experience something else, other than what you've experienced already in your own country. As I said before, sustainable development goals are a big reason for the existence of Common Scholarship. So read all 17 of them and align your ambitions and goals with SDGs. When you're answering questions in the essays and whatever question, my advice for you would be use the STAR method to answer your questions. The STAR method stands for situation, task, action, and result. So what situation do you have to deal with? What is the task that you were given to excuse me, what action did you take and what happened as a result of your action? So when you answer questions about your leadership style or your academic achievements or anything that you've been involved in that could help you with getting the scholarship, use the STAR method. That's my advice. And there's the link there from the National Career Service.gov.uk that you could follow um, to read more about what a STAR method is. You can use this in interviews as well if they interview, but the Common Scholarship, from my experience, doesn't require interviews. It's just an application online. Okay, we're reaching the end of the presentation, which thank you for bearing with me. My advice is apply. If you are doubting, apply. If you are confident, apply. You have until the 15th of October 2024 to submit your application. My advice is your essays must be simple and easy to follow. So don't use complicated academic language or jargon. Use simple language that anyone who's reviewing your application, because some of you are experts in engineering or medicine or law, or whatever, sociology. So you are an expert in that topic or in that field, but usually your applications can be reviewed by other people who are experts as well, but sometimes not. So use simple language that anyone will be able to read and follow quite simply. So I'm not saying make it lay person or make it dumb, but make it understandable and digestible to anyone who's reading your application. Don't make people have to go through dictionaries to understand what you're saying and do further work too. So make it easy for someone who's reading your application to comprehend what you are saying and what you are trying to bring across. Support why your interest or field of study align with Commonwealth themes as well as the SDGs. As I said, SDGs are a key thing that throughout your application, you need to make sure that we've woven through to that as well. So top tips, which I don't know if I should have shared these or not, but because they're part of, as someone who was part of the selection committee that we were focusing on, it was the criteria that we used to select who got the scholarship. So submit a good application, checks for spelling and grammatical errors and mistakes. Those things count. So again, ask a friend, a colleague, an editor if you can, to look through your application, right? Show how your academic background aligns with your proposed areas of study. So I studied environmental geographical sciences at UCT. At Oxford, I wanted to study conservation and biodiversity. I had to show the links. I had to show that, okay, my experience in environmental studies links with this MSc at Oxford through 1, 2, 3. So you need to support how there's an alignment and show it with evidence as well. You need good references. So you need people that are going to say how amazing and how prepared and ready and deserving you are of the scholarship opportunity. So choose people, don't just put people's names down. Ask people in advance, are they prepared and willing and able to submit your references in time for the deadline as well. So ask them in advance. You have 10 days, as I said. So for those of you that haven't started immediately after this presentation, please do go ahead um, and email or call or SMS or contact your possible reference. You need 2 minimum, as I said. Um, I sometimes do this. I understand, like for instance, I had a professor at UCT who I wanted to be my reference. And I know that they are a big scholar, they are famous, they are busy. I typed how amazing I am in a letter as a reference, and I sent it to them and said, "Can you? Okay, you're not starting from blank. You don't have to start from zero. Here's what I think I'm good at. Can you please add or edit or remove what you think I would have added that's too much?" And they can then shape it when you started something. So for people that are very busy, that you know you want to get a stamp and reference, my advice is write your own reference and send it to them for edits and comments and for them to sign. All right. Um, what are your long-term goals in terms of after your master's or your PhD, what you want to do in terms of the development of your own country, but also the world as a whole? Again, think about SDGs. Yeah, and lastly, my advice is apply, apply, apply. Um, yeah, don't be scared. Don't through the fear, through the worry, through the imposter syndrome, apply, apply, apply. Because do not self-select. There are people who thought they will never get such an opportunity, and now they have gone on and graduated in their masters and PhD scholarships and degrees, rather, using the Commonwealth scholarships, and gone back to their countries and really impacted lives. Oh, and this picture shows you, I've been in a campaign with David Beckham. And one of the reasons why I met him was because the scholarship contributed to my education and development to such a level that I was able to do such amazing things that are cool, but also amazing to also talk about during presentations when you want to encourage people to apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship. So my encouragement for you is apply, 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 ask for help and support. The application is due on the 15th of October 2024. You still have 10 days. Yeah, and there's help, there's assistance, and do not be shy, do not be scared. Apply. The worst thing that could happen is that you don't get a scholarship, which would suck, but at least you tried. Don't self-select and not apply. Apply and let the reviewers and the scholarship committee itself decide. For you, believe in yourself and apply for the scholarship. Okay, we've now reached time for questions. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I wasn't too fast. Let me check if I can see. Okay, so we're still in the room. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen. I'm going to allow you to ask questions now. Thank you so much for joining. As I said, if you have any questions, please type them in the chat or Q&A or raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak. Any questions, comments, worries? Okay, I see Asanda has a hand, and yeah, I'll start with Asanda. Asanda, go ahead.
Hi, Paballo. Thank you for the informative presentation. Can you hear me, by the way?
I can hear you, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. No, I just want to ask for advice for someone who has been out of academia for a while. I did my honors and I graduated in 2021, and I've been working since 2020, sorry. I've been working and I've been completely out of academia for that long, so 3 years, I guess. Any advice for that situation? Because obviously you lose touch with a lot of people, the environment, and also it might reflect negatively on the application, perhaps. So I just want to ask for advice. Maybe also people who want to do the PhD have also been out of academia for a while. I don't know. But
Okay.
any advice in that situation?
Thanks for your question, Asanda, which is a good question, and I think a lot of people have it as well. Actually, your experience, work experience counts towards your favor, because especially if you are working in the same field. So let's say you studied geography and now you work as a geographer, or it shows that you've applied your skills. So show how your work experience can be translated into your master's or PhD degree. Ask one of your either supervisors or manager to be one of your references, but then you do need an academic reference. So you do need to dust off those emails and contacts that you have of your previous supervisors as well, just to have one of them show that you can perform academically. But your work experience actually is a count on towards your favor. It's not a loss that you've been away from academia for so long. If you can shape it to show how you have real life experience and you want to apply that real life experience in your research, and then go back to that real life experience with your research that you are going to do in the UK. So do not count yourself out or count that as a negative. It's actually a positive. Thanks,
Thank you.
Asanda. I see a hand from I hope I say your name right. Chauteng Angi. Please go ahead.
Okay.
Chauteng?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I am Chuta Ange Maxi. I am a recent graduate student from the University of Yaoundé. I am based in Cameroon. I am working on infectious diseases. I want to apply for the full scholarship. But I have one question. In my field of study, I want to know first, is it possible to propose a topic and besides that you need to come back to Cameroon for your field study? It's possible to do, or it's a full study, it's a full scholarship pass, meaning that I should stay in UK for the period during the scholarship, or it's possible to come back to Cameroon, collect your data, bring them to UK during the scholarship.
Great question. So I was just checking my notes to see Cameroon. Cameroon is a Commonwealth country, so I just want to confirm. So you can apply for the scholarship. No. So you can go back to Cameroon to do your research or field work, you'll just obviously mainly be in the UK, but you will actually sometimes even be able to apply for some grants to go back to Cameroon to do your field work or research as well. So yeah, you're not gonna have to stay in the UK for a year or 2 or 3 without going anywhere else. You can go back to Cameroon to collect mosquitoes or whatever samples you need for your research.
The field.
I can't hear you, Chauteng.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah?
Okay. I want to know the field. If I'm going back to Cameroon, the field work will be covered by the scholarship, or I should cover. If I should try to obtain another grant, then you cover sample collection, transport, maybe recruitment of patient. I want to know, or it's not covered by the scholarship. I stay in Cameroon during the period.
Ooh, I can't answer that at the top of my head. Can I check that and get back to you via email? But I remember in my experience when I was here in 2014 to study at Oxford, my college and my own university gave me grants to go back to South Africa to do some research. But I have to check if the Commonwealth will cover that or not. But in my experience, I was covered by another grant. But I will confirm with you. I'll let you know. I just don't want to misinform you, so I will check my notes and files and come back to you with an answer.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Sure.
thank you.
Thanks, Chacheng. I'll email you because I'm gonna have your email from this. Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay. I see Yared has a hand up. Yared, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My name is Yared from Tanzania. I just wanted to hear some of your insights around the reference, because in the application portal, they have classified kind of referees they expect us to submit. Their party, they need someone who knows me in personal, not in a professional capacity. So my concern or my query is around, are we allowed to submit a letter from someone who knows us in personal? And maybe could you help us to share some insights in what aspect that this person is going to recommend us? What are the key things they consider to hear from the personal referees when referring someone? And the second questions, I just want to get some advice from you for the referee part. Is it possible to have 2 rate of referees from work experience, also just need both from academic and work experience? Because some of us who have graduated more than 7 years ago, it may be difficult to have academic referees for those who are working outside of academia. Yeah.
Okay, layered questions. I'm also looking through the website as I'm talking to you, but let me look at my screen so that I can. So in terms of the person, so my advice is they say minimum 2 references. One of them for me has to be academic. That's my opinion and experience, because someone needs to vouch for the fact that if you are to do a master's or a PhD degree, you'll be able to do the research. So even though you've been away from work for 7 years, do try and reach out to one of your former lecturers or supervisors to give you a reference. And as I advised, if you can type something up for them, if they've forgotten you, email them with your CV, so what you're currently doing. Maybe send them your transcript to remind them of how you performed when you were at university 7 years ago. Type up something. So ask them first, are they able to do that? If they say no, or if they say, give me sort of a rough draft of a reference, type up a reference for yourself. So talk about your capabilities and send it to them, to then ask them to edit, and then they will have to submit it to the Commonwealth scholarships as a reference with their signature. you do need academic reference. I'll advise that, however long you've been away from academia. For those of you that work or have worked before, a colleague, a manager, someone senior to you who knows your dedication and your hard work can also vouch for you in terms of professionally. What are your skills? What are your expertise? That can then align again with SDGs and the Commonwealth scholarship goals and themes as well. I think then the other question was about personal reference. I would refrain from asking family to do it. So this is my opinion. I would not ask my sister or my mother or father to give me a reference. I'd ask a friend or someone I know from church or from the soccer club. And what they would speak about, perhaps I'm the captain of the local club, soccer club. They can speak about my leadership skills and how I bring everyone together, how kind and empathetic I am as a friend, as a leader. So they'll speak about my behavioral competencies. You can Google what those are. There's something about innovation, my communication skills. Am I respectful to people? Do I foster inclusivity and equity as a leader, as a friend? So even though it's personal, do not get someone who's necessarily a family member to be your reference. Get someone who, even though they're still a friend, they can speak about you in other qualities. As I said, for example, maybe you are a choir master at church, or you're a quiz master at the local pub. Um, the pub owner can perhaps be your reference to speak about, he's so smart. He leads pub quizzes every Wednesday. So yeah, so that's my advice. If you can get minimum 2, that would be amazing. One of them has to be academic, but then the personal one doesn't necessarily have to be a family member. It can be someone who knows you in a personal capacity, but can also align with the scholarship goals and dreams as well. Okay, that was a long answer. I hope that answered your question, Yared.
Thank you so much.
Sure. I see there's a question in the Q&A, and I'm going to allow for one more question, and I'm going to let everyone go. I understand it's a Saturday. So Temoso Masilo is asking, in your opinion, do you think it's a missed opportunity if one prioritizes the preferred course structure from a UK university that might not be in the top and prestigious universities? Oh, thank you for that question, Temoso. So I think, as I said, any UK university, whether it's top 10 or where it is in terms of the rankings, is eligible for the scholarship. So do not focus on. So I wanted Oxford because that's what I wanted to go to. But please, if you prioritize your preferred course, that's actually a good thing. Actually, I advise PhDs particularly if prioritize a supervisor than an institution. And that's another conversation, right? About sometimes you can want to go to the top institution, but it doesn't have the right course or the right supervisor for you. So focus on you, your research, supervisor, course structure than the institution. So yes, it's not a missed opportunity at all. It's actually the better way of doing it, focusing on your course, your structure, your research, your supervisor, and your topic that you want to work with than the university itself. So prestigious universities are amazing. I mean, Oxford, but it's not necessarily the prerequisite for you to get the scholarship. So the scholarship that doesn't discriminate against what institution you want to study in the UK, as long as you can show how it aligns with the SDGs, so Sustainable Development Goals, also how it aligns with the scholarship themes and how it's going to help you go back to your own country to help with the country's development and the continental development as well. That is not just about you ultimately, it's about you using your studies and your degree to further develop your own country. So thank you for that question, Tomoso. I hope I answered your question. So yes, choose your course structure instead of your university. Simeon Kawunda, can you choose 2 nominating agencies for your application? I chose one and advise you to choose one as well. But I think you can choose 2. But I'd advise you to just focus on one, just not to have confusion. Just read up on which ones are available in your country and which one you can align yourself with. I'd advise you to choose one. That's my answer. Okay, last question or comment from anyone before I let everyone go. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I know it's a Saturday. I appreciate you joining. My encouragement is apply for the scholarship that you're eligible for. With jobs or with opportunities, I think the worst thing someone can say is no, or say nothing, because sometimes you apply for things and they don't respond or even give you feedback. And that's okay. It's part of life. As I said before, I applied for the Rhodes Scholarship and I got rejected for that. And I'm not ashamed. And I got the Commonwealth Scholarship. I got the same degree that I wanted to study. So my goal was to study biodiversity and conservation in the UK in Oxford. So for me, I didn't care what scholarship I got. So don't be scared of getting rejected or not getting the scholarship. Most of you that are self-selecting or not wanting to apply because you're scared will actually get the scholarship if you apply. So my advice is apply, give it a try. You never know. Yes, rejection hurts, but we build on that. It's part of being a human being. We apply for jobs, we apply for scholarships, fellowships, and other opportunities. We get some and we don't get some, and that's okay. So my encouragement is apply, apply, apply. Ask for support, ask for people to review your application, email the scholarship directly if you need to, email the nominating agency directly if you need to, speak to people like myself who are alumni who can give you tips and hints as well. Do not be ashamed. If someone doesn't respond to your query, try the next person. Don't take it personally. Don't be offended. Apply, apply, apply. The application is due on the 15th of October 2024, and I encourage all of you to apply. Okay. Thanks, Tabogo Tambuza. Thanks, Paps. This was informative. Tabogo, I hope you apply. I hope to see you somewhere in the UK in September next year. Okay, apply. Yeah, that's my speech for today. Thank you so much for joining, and let's link up on LinkedIn. You have my email. Let's link up via email. If I don't have the capacity, because I'm also a very busy person, I will let you know honestly that I can't answer a certain question, or I'll direct you to the right connections or people that you need to speak to. But I think I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm just doing this voluntarily, by the way, today. I'm not getting paid to do this webinar. It's free. I like sharing information. I like sharing opportunities. So as I said, if you connect with me on LinkedIn, you will see that I'm obsessed with sharing job opportunities and scholarship opportunities, and any other opportunity that can help someone's career. And if I have the time and the capacity to advise or give an answer to something, I will do that. And my advice is find more people that are Commonwealth alumni or people that just received the scholarship. Just ask for tips. What did they do right? Oh, another thing that I didn't say, be authentic in your application. Don't use ChatGPT. So I know ChatGPT is a new thing. AI is the new thing. Do not use AI to write your essays and answers, because there are apps now that can detect if you wrote an answer using AI, and you don't want to seem lazy and unoriginal by using artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? You want to show your natural intelligence, that you will be able to do research and write your own thesis on your own without AI helping you. And I do understand AI is here to stay. AI is the future, but we do need to manage the ethics and how we use that, because some people now are still frowning upon it. So you don't want to have someone who's reviewing your application who's going to be like, I'm not going to read this application. I'm not going to give them the opportunity because they were not dedicated enough to apply themselves. So please do not copy anyone's work or anyone's essay. So maybe get motivation from previous essays, but do not copy them, because they will see right through inauthentic, unoriginal essays and answers. So be authentic. You want to get the scholarship because you gave truthful answers that, again, aligned with the SDGs and themes of the scholarship. But you don't want to copy Paballo's essay because Paballo got the scholarship. You want to write your own essay. You want to write your own answers yourself. I know it's scary. I know it's daunting. And hence, I'm encouraging you to have other people look through your application. Yeah, give it a try. Apply, apply, apply. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day and have a good weekend. And I hope to meet some of you one day as Commonwealth alumni, and perhaps we can have champagne or tea or something over this and celebrate this moment is what perhaps encouraged you to apply. Yeah, you miss all the shots that you don't take. Take a shot. 15th October 2024 is the due date for the scholarship, and I encourage you to apply and give it a try. You never know. And I hope that you start doing research on the universities that you want to apply to, the courses that you want to apply for, and the scholarship itself as well. Yeah, good luck and have a good weekend and be in touch. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.